Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's good to see you on this Sunday. Let me turn this music down a little bit, but it is happy and always good to see you all here. I just wrapped up a really long live stream, about an hour and a half over in the school. And then I was like, you know what? The market's doing pretty damn decent right now. And I know you all are wondering what is going on. So I was like, you know what? What better to do on this Sunday, baby, than to take a few minutes away from football or what other shenanigans you're doing and pay attention to what is happening in crypto. And so without further ado, today we are going to go over this little crypto pump that we're seeing right now. Bitcoin is currently at around $109,500, making a very, very important move as we speak. We're going to take a look at what the altcoin market's doing. I'll answer a couple questions for you and much, much more. Now, matter of fact, I will let you know if you are interested. Just about 1.5 hours ago, almost 2 hours ago, I actually did a live stream over in the crypto school, which is linked down below. I'm a co-founder of it. And in this live stream, what we did is I actually gave them a 30-minute workshop on my market analysis system where I showed them exactly what it is that I do every single day in order to prepare for this market. I look at the context of the market, the diagnosis of the market, the expectations, and I use all of this data that I'm gathering to determine what I'm going to do. Am I going to buy? Am I going to sell? Am I going to hold? I did a 30-minute workshop just in the school just now, right before the stream. And so if you guys are interested, do not forget that you can always check out that link to the school down in the description below and sign up today. But all in all, I am very, very happy to see you all in here. I'm seeing a couple familiar faces as per usual. And so I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to all of you. Maxime, I see you. I see you. I see you. Harlem, welcome in. Welcome in. Gustave, welcome in. Duo. Oh my goodness. Everyone's here. The whole squad's here. What's up, folks? What's up, folks? What's up, folks? So look, first and foremost, let's just go ahead and kick this bad boy off and let's talk about what is going on in the crypto market today. So as we can see, things are looking pretty damn decent on the up and up today. If we do look at the 1 day, also quick thing. If you were in that live stream that we just did over in the school and you thought it was good, not super, just good. If you thought it was good, put a 1 in the chat. Just curious about your thoughts. But anywho, so when we look at the market today, we can see that things are looking actually okay. They're looking somewhat decent. We got Tau pumping, ZEC pumping, ENA pumping. It's not a lot. Don't get me wrong. It is definitely not something that I would say is super exciting, but it is decent. Now, if we look at the 1 week, if we look at the 1 month, it might kind of kill the vibe a little bit. So why don't we look at the 1 day? Okay. And if we look at the 1 day, what we can see is, again, things are looking pretty solid here in the crypto market. Now, not only are things looking pretty solid, but there is actually a very important move happening in crypto right now, and it all comes down to Bitcoin. Like what we are seeing Bitcoin do right now is very, very important for so many different reasons that I just need to break down all of it for you here on live stream today. Okay. So why is what Bitcoin is doing right now so important? Well, it all comes down to what Bitcoin's been doing. In order to get your diagnosis of what the market is doing right now, you have to have a very good understanding of the context of the situation, right? And so let me give you some brief context on what Bitcoin's been up to in order for you to understand why what it's doing right now is so important. And if you were in the school earlier, actually, you know this already. So Bitcoin's price has been range bound for the last couple months. Ever since July, Bitcoin's price has been up and down and up and down and up and down, just trending in between $108,000 and $125,000. Now, last week, whenever, of course, we did see all of the bad news starting to print about China, we obviously saw the crypto market take a bit of a dive, falling from over $120,000 down to around $103,000, $104,000. Now, what I told you all was, hey, listen, you need to be very, very careful right now as Bitcoin's price is attempting to break to the downside right here, because this is going to tell us a lot about what we need to know. Because I told you, if Bitcoin's price breaks structure here, if Bitcoin falls below $108,000, $107,000, stays below it, guys, we easily could see Bitcoin fall to, say, $90,000. I think it's well within reason. Why $90,000? Well, because of the Fibonacci's. If you draw on your Fibonacci swing low to swing high, what you can see is that's our golden zone. And Bitcoin making a move back in the golden zone is very normal. And so I said we need to be watching very closely what Bitcoin does over the next week, like a couple days throughout the weekend, because as its price tries to work itself back up into this range, it's going to be important. So we broke down out the range. I said lock in, because whatever happens next is important. And so what's happening right now, and the reason why I said this move is so important, is because Bitcoin's price is currently trying to reclaim it. Bitcoin's price is currently trying to work itself back into the exact range that it's been in recently. And if it's capable of doing it, it would actually declare that this move that we saw to the downside was nothing more than a fake out. And matter of fact, historically, when Bitcoin's price does confirm that a fake out has now happened and that it does re-enter back into these ranges, the perceived likelihood of it pumping back up to say $120,000 or higher is very good. I mean, there is a good chance that if Bitcoin can confirm that this was nothing more than a fake out, that it'll push back up to at least $115,000 or $116,000 for mid-channel resistance, right? Retesting some of these previous key zones of liquidity. And now to put that in simple terms is Bitcoin was in a range. It lost support, it fell out the range, and now it's trying to re-enter back into it. And if it can successfully re-enter back into it, it cancels all the scary shit that would have happened if it stayed outside of it. And so what do we need to be paying attention to very closely right now? What's the big thing for us? Well, it's what Bitcoin does here. Can it now continue to capture 109.5K? Can it capture 110K? And can it stay above it? Not just today, not just tonight, but tomorrow as well. Because what happens, chat, let me ask you a question. What happens every time a Monday rolls around? Volatility, right? Things get weird. It's sometimes good, it's sometimes bad. And so what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to get your mind so wrapped up today that everything is back. We're so back, bull market's back, crypto's back. No, I don't want you to have those thoughts quite yet. The thoughts that I want you to have are, oh shit, things are getting spicy. Let me lock in. Let me watch closely. Because as we go into today, as we go into tonight, and as we go into tomorrow, Bitcoin is going to very obviously make a decision of whether or not it's going to push back up within this channel or if it's going to get rejected out of this channel. And I'm telling you, that is going to tell us everything we need to know about this move. Okay. It's going to tell us everything we need to know about this move. And so what do I think is going to happen? Well, I personally believe that Bitcoin has a bit of a higher chance of actually accomplishing this move and pushing upwards than it does falling out of here. I do think that it is within reason that it might say we make one more swing back to 103 and then pump back into here, but I would go ahead and give it a 60-40 split. I think it's 60% chance more likely that Bitcoin's price pumps back into this range and retains what it lost. Now, the primary reason as to why I believe that is the case is really, it really just comes down to what I'm saying from liquidations. What we can see if we look at the liquidation map is that the sheer amount of leverage and the sheer amount of people who are betting on short trades, and now that the market's pumping, this is going to run slow as per usual. But as you can see, if we zoom out to the 30-day, there are a lot of liquidations directly above us. Matter of fact, if Bitcoin pushes over to $110,000, which is close, like very close, there's still billions in dollars of liquidations just above us. So I see no reason as to why Bitcoin can't chase down and capture some of these liquidations that are just above us, say at $110,000, $111,000. You can see it on the 30-day. You can also see it on the 7-day. What you do need to be careful of, though, is that on the 1-day, there are now liquidations really stacking to the bottom side, which means it could look something like this. Boom, 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 or boom, boom. And then we just come back and then we retest it. So yes, I do think Bitcoin has a decent chance of entering back into this range, but I don't think it'll come without a cost. I still think that there will be possible pullbacks and quick little, flash crashes back towards the downside to liquidate that 2 billion or so roughly below us. But in all, I think from a structural mid to long-term perspective, Bitcoin has a higher chance of re-entering into this range than it does a flash crashing back to the downside. Now, I still think that there's a 35-40% chance that we revisit 90K. So I'm not even going to go out and start saying, oh, everybody start cheering, everybody start freaking out, everybody start getting all too excited. I'm not willing to say that yet, but this is an optimistic moment. And if Bitcoin can continue this, if it can make this move happen, this could be a good thing for the crypto market at this given point. Okay. And so all in all, yes, Bitcoin's price is pumping. Yes, the crypto market is looking pretty solid today with some 3 to 10% gains across the majority of the altcoin market. But what you do not need to do right now is get too overexcited or overhyped up about what we're seeing. This is simply a test. This is simply a continuation of the battle. And the battle will be decided by tomorrow night. We will know by tomorrow night whether or not Bitcoin has re-entered into this range or been rejected off this range. And that is going to tell us everything that we need to know. So the best thing that we need to do right now, the best thing that you could probably do right now, in my opinion, is wait. Don't do anything. If you didn't accumulate a couple days ago when I told you I wouldn't do anything. As you all know, as Bitcoin's price started to pull to the downside, right around $103,000, I told you all a couple things. I said, listen, we saw the Crusader signals, for example, on the 4-hour time frames. Watch this buy signal that printed right here. We saw the Crusader signals flashing. Boom, right there. Buy signal was going off. Bollinger Bands overextended to the downside. RSI fully extended with bullish divergence on this move right here. And so because of all of these things and the fact that we are approaching macro support, I told you all, and I posted over in the Discord, that I was buying. I bought Bitcoin at $103.6 thousand. I bought Ethereum at $3,682. And at this given point, my purchase on Bitcoin is now up $6,000. The price of Bitcoin is up $6,000. And Ethereum, it's up a couple $100. So those two purchases that were done a couple days ago are in a great spot. We went against the grain. We contrarian traded. We won in the short term, which is very common here on the channel. You guys know we are willing to buy when things get ugly, and the market oftentimes rewards us for that, right? So if you weren't doing purchasing back here when we were, I probably wouldn't be doing much right now. I'm going to let this play out. I want to see if it's able to push up into this, and I'm wondering whether or not this is a fake move to the upside. Is this a dead cat bounce? That's like the biggest thing that I'm still being careful of, because it is well within reason to assume that Bitcoin's price might be simply chasing down this big ass liquidation wick right here, and then from there it comes back down to target all of those long traders again, something like this. It's possible. It's very possible. It is very much a threat, and I would be very, very careful of that. Okay. But all in all, when we get rid of the short term, we're not worried about the short term. I'm not worried about if it does this or this or this or this or this, or it goes back over here to July and then we come back into the future. I don't care what happens. Mid to long term, I still think it's within reason to assume that there's more of a likelihood that Bitcoin pumps into this range. And so because of that, that's what I'm primarily focused on. So I'm not going to put myself at risk of losing that opportunity of seeing that pump by opening up any leverage trades right now. Nothing like that. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to sit on that purchase that I did a couple days ago and sit back and wait. And then we'll go from there. Okay. So let's see. And I do have a quick one. So Jeff B says, "You're lying now, Tyler. You are very bearish." I have retained the idea with 100% consistency that I believed we were not in a bear market and that we are in a bull market, and that Bitcoin is much more likely to push towards the upside. Everyone can kind of agree with that. And chat, many of you have watched my live streams before. So if that is the consistent narrative that I have pushed throughout this entire thing, just put a 3 in the chat for our friend here. Okay. But anywho, so that's what's happening with Bitcoin. And that's what you need to be watching. Over the next 24 hours, you need to be watching incredibly closely whether or not Bitcoin's price is capable of breaking above and staying above this $109-ish thousand level. It is going to be very, very, very important. Okay. Very important. Now, how does this translate to the altcoin market? Well, the altcoin market's in a bit of an interesting position as well. And if we actually go look at total 2, which is the total market cap of crypto, excluding Bitcoin, of course, so of course the crypto market cap here for altcoins at least, what we can see is that things are looking pretty interesting. I wouldn't say they look great. I wouldn't say they look bad, but I would say that they look interesting. And the reason why I would say that they look interesting is because they haven't really gained a lot of traction yet. Like, although Bitcoin's price is pumping right now, we're not seeing total 2 really giving us some traction right now. It's not really retesting anything. It's not doing anything super important. And so when it comes to the altcoin market, it seems like alts are just waiting on Bitcoin. They're just waiting to see the decision that the altcoin market makes, or sorry, the altcoin market is waiting to see the decision that Bitcoin makes before making a move of its own. Now, sure, there's a world in which you can say that this was the range it was in, and it's also trying to re-enter this range, but it's a lot less decisive. It's a lot less clear and precise as Bitcoin. And again, it just seems like the altcoin market is just watching Bitcoin. Matter of fact, if we do look at Bitcoin dominance, what you can see is that Bitcoin dominance is still continuing to trend upwards. Even if it is down a little bit today, in general, it is still trending upwards and finding some macro support in this Fibonacci golden zone. And so knowing that it has a macro zone of support, this zone easily could support the Bitcoin price and outperforming altcoins for a while. And so because of that, I surely would be continuing to just pay more attention to Bitcoin than altcoins. But we can definitely see that the altcoin market's also waiting with bated breath to see what Bitcoin's price does. Now, if we're going to zoom into some of our best cryptos, some of our favorite cryptos in the altcoin market, what we can see is that they are making a very good move right now. So ETH, for example, Ethereum is actually responding pretty well to what Bitcoin is doing. ETH's price found some support in the green zone and is using it to try to push upwards. Now, currently speaking, it's running into a 50% threshold of resistance, which is forcing its price downwards, and that's a good battle for ETH. So that's what you need to be watching. That level is right around $4,000, which is a macro psychological level. So all in all, this simply just means that there's a ton of resistance sitting above ETH around 4K. And the question is, can it break above 4K and push upwards into the red zone, or does it get rejected back into the green zone? And so while Bitcoin's price is determining if it's going to stay in and remain in this range, ETH is determining whether or not it's going to break above the 50 and push to the red, or if it's going to get rejected off the 50 and fall back into the green. One way or another, I personally don't care. My strategy remains the same. I buy Ethereum anytime it falls into the green zone. I sell Ethereum anytime it runs into the red zone. This is the exact reason why we were able to accumulate Ethereum at $3,682, which is whenever I put in this low, literally right at the bottom. Now, did I do that on purpose? Absolutely not. There was no I did not mean to purchase the very bottom of that move. I just did on accident, but I'm glad I did. And now that purchase that was done on Ethereum, whenever it did scoop that low, is now up roughly Yeah, about 9% or so. So first of all, congratulations. As many of you know, that was a pretty decently sized purchase. It was a medium-sized purchase. It was pretty decent for me. I don't do large purchases during bull markets almost ever, so that's about as big as it gets for me. And so now the game plan remains the same. If ETH breaks up to the red zone, I'm going to take profit on that purchase I did right here. If ETH price falls back into the green zone, I'm just going to add more to it. Very, very easy, very simple. There's no need to overcomplicate it. Okay. The next one that we're going to look at is Solana. So Solana's price is somewhat consolidating. I will say that I do like the fact that Solana's price has been putting in the higher low here. So what you can see is a low and a higher low. I do like that, but outside of that, I am still rather skeptical of Solana, and I have made this quite clear. I'm not so sure what sort of structure it's creating, but what I do know is that it is struggling very harshly at the golden Fibonacci zone. There's a zone of resistance that ranges between 192 and $235, and Solana is very harshly struggling to break above that. And so until Solana shows a clear indication to me that it is going to like really make that move, I'm being careful. One thing I do like about Solana, though, that I did recently just notice is that it is actually putting in a descending parallel channel right here. As you can see, boom. So it is putting in a descending parallel channel. So I do think Solana actually will have a decent attempt at breaking out of this little weird moment that it's in right now, but it's not going to be easy. And I do think that, like Solana is still a risky one right now. Descending parallel channel, but it's getting resistance off of a macro zone of resistance and rejection. So for Solana, again, I'm still just being very careful. You all know I took a lot of profits off of Solana as its price pushed up towards all-time highs. We took a lot of profits off Solana when it pushed above $250. And so because of that, I'm not in a rush to be buying a ton of Solana right now. I'd rather it just play out because obviously the main concern is something like this happening, in which it does kind of pull back towards these lower levels. I don't think it's going to, but it is a risk, and the risk versus reward isn't enough to me that I would be willing to do any big like purchases right here. So I'm not super excited about that. Okay. XRP is in a bit of an interesting position as well. And as you can see, like outside of Ethereum, the whole altcoin market just looks weird. Like Solana's in a weird spot, XRP's in a weird spot. My general consensus here for XRP is quite simple, though. I'm under the belief that XRP will not gain any true real traction until its price breaks above 270. So my whole thing is like XRP can kind of do what it wants. I'm not going to get excited about it until it breaks above 270. And the reason I say that is because this is a massive zone of resistance. You see that support, that support, and that support, and that support all aligning at 270. Well, guess what? That's massive support. And what happens when you fall below support? It gets flipped into resistance, which is the exact reason XRP wasn't even able to get close to it right here before immediately getting rejected. And so if I'm an XRP holder, I would maybe be accumulating, like do a little bit of buying the dip as we do venture, if we do venture lower to say, 230 or below, because there is a ton of liquidity back here that could hold XRP's price up. But don't get too excited until it breaks 270. That's when things get exciting because it can easily open up the door to the upside, especially if it breaks through this general trend that it's in right here. So I'll update you on XRP, but again, not super excited in it right now. I'm more primarily focused on Bitcoin and ETH. And what you can see is like the majority of my analysis right now is so heavily centered towards Bitcoin and ETH because that's what's controlling the market. Matter of fact, when I did my accumulation the other day, I literally just bought Bitcoin and ETH because those are the ones that are controlling the market right now. And so with that in mind, again, I don't want you to think that I don't care about XRP, I don't care about Solana. They're just not my primary focus right now. The next one we'll look at is BNB. So what we can see is that BNB isn't a bit of a pickle. That is for sure. BNB has definitely put in some weird structure that I would be very cautious about because what we can see is that it put in this double top clear as day, and it did fall below that MLS, which is a mid-level of support right there around $1,085. And so what BNB's price is attempting to do right now is get back above that MLS and stay above $1,085. Now, one thing BNB does have going for it that I do really like to see is that it is creating this little structure here, whatever you want to call this. Some people would call this an Adam and Eve because of the pointiness of this. Some people would call this a cup and handle. But both of these structures do imply that some sort of breakout towards the upside for ETH could be on the way, or for BNB, sorry, could be on the way. So if I'm a BNB holder, what I'm looking for this thing to do is to break back above, say, $1,197. Because if BNB's price is capable of using this quick little reversal structure to break back up to this previous structural high and break above it, it definitely could open up the door for some sort of more macro reversal that, say, takes BNB's price all the way up to, say, like $1,229 to $1,300 or something like that, right? So maybe in the short term, the better number to even watch out for is $1,134. If BNB's price can break above $1,134, it does validate this reversal pattern, and it easily could try to push back up to say $1,234. That does open up decent opportunities for long trades if you guys want to take them. I personally wouldn't, and I'm not going to, but to each their own. Obviously, that's your prerogative. My primary reason is because it's taken a lot of momentum for BNB to work itself back up to the structural resistance, and knowing that the 4-hour RSI or the 1-hour RSI, sorry, is already near 70, I would be very careful with this. And so with BNB, I would be very careful, but do watch 1134 close, because breaking above this does open up the door for what I think a move to the upside that'll get triggered rather fast. Okay. Here we go. So I got some interesting feedback I want to share. Reading a chart is not about drawing some lines or throwing some fib or any indicator. It's much more complex. That's why 95% of traders lose. I'm out. Take care. Wish the best, G. So anyway, back to what we were doing. So let's go look at SWE next. So I'm not going to get super deep into any of these smaller ones right now. And the primary reason is, again, guys, you have to be careful. Like, anything outside of the top 10 right now is very dangerous. It's very risky. You never know when you're going to get some big move from the top 5, top 10 that's going to impact the rest of this market. So I'll give you some rapid fire TA on a couple of these ones, but do understand this is not where my primary focus is at. Okay. So when I look at SWE, sorry, the first thing that I do notice is that we're getting some structure here, right? So there's obviously some clear structure forming. We can see that it is in some sort of descending channel. And obviously these descending channels, whenever they're at the bottom of moves, have a much less success rate as one at the top of a move. But for SWE, I would just only be watching this right now. It's like, while it's in here, it's just going to trend downwards. When it breaks out, it's probably going to come back to its most recent point of resistance, which in this case would be $3. So like, if SWE's price breaks out of this descending channel, a move back up to $3 is very probable. And it makes a lot of sense because of the amount of sheer supports here, right? It's going to act like a magnet and try to pull SWE back up for some sort of retest, at which point maybe it even tries to create some sort of inverse head and shoulders or so, right? So for SWE, I'm looking at the descending channel, waiting for the breakout of the descending channel, and estimating that a move back up towards $3 is very likely. So just watch to see if SWE can break out of it. Okay. XLM, very simple. I'm not even going to get too deep into this one. Still in the descending channel. Green zone is when I'll buy. Red zone is when I'll sell. I'll do it over and over and over again until XLM breaks out of it. Feel free to kind of screenshot this screen right now if you want the descending channel in your chart. HBAR's price. I've told you guys consistently, I'm not very excited about HBAR right now, but it is in a macro zone of support between 18.7 and 12.6 cents that I think will hold as support and try to force HBAR back up towards 25 cents or higher. So I do think that HBAR in general is in an accumulation zone right now. I just wouldn't be doing a bunch of big buying quite yet. ADA, let's just kind of throw this bad boy up and see what's going on here. So when I look at ADA, chart honestly looks mad weird. I'm not going to lie. The wick is always what just throws it off. But in general, it is still floating well above this key zone of liquidity. So like I've said before, like, while ADA is above this zone between, say, 58 cents and 51 cents, it's in a good spot. Like, at any given point, it could just pump back to the upside, maybe take out some of the structural resistance and just clean it, right? I think it's well within reason that ADA can make that move. So while it's above this golden box right here, it's okay. Decent time to DCA if you want. Just be careful, because falling below this would be catastrophic and probably send it back to like 30 cents or lower. Okay. All righty, let's see. Let's jump into a few more before I jump into the chat here. We're coming up on 30 minutes. Let's do Doge. Doge's price is holding up well. So I've been kind of hitting the nail on the head with Doge recently. So I told you guys whenever it was in this ascending channel to be very careful. I said, listen, while Doge is in this ascending channel, it's at threat all the time of pulling back down towards 20 cents. I said, and if it loses 20 cents, it's probably going to come back to this golden zone. It's exactly what happened. We fell directly out of the ascending channel, came back down to this key zone of support, fell straight through it, nuked through it, hit this golden zone of support between 16.7 and 19. And it's actually showing some decent signs of holding up here. What you can see is that your 4-hour RSI, or your daily RSI, actually is starting to give us some general reversal signs, which I think is a very good signal. And I think the fact that we did come near sub 30, but not fully sub 30, just means that Doge could have a chance here, just like the rest of the market. You know how ETH is waiting to see if it's going to break out, SWE's waiting to see if it's going to break out, XRP trying to break out. So is Doge. Doge is simply just deciding, like, hey, am I going to be able to use this golden zone as some support and push upwards or not? If it nukes through it, that's not good. I think Doge easily could come back down towards 11 cents or even 9 cents to the downside, which could, of course, imply that some sort of larger 30 to 40% correction could be on the way if it falls through this golden zone. So obviously be very careful, but it is giving us some good signs that this zone could hold, and probably, I don't want to say probably will hold, but it does have a good chance of holding for here for sure. So Doge is looking decent to me. Not fantastic, not terrible, but decent for sure. Let's go Caspa. Caspa, very simple. I mean, I believe Yeah, I mean, so whenever I look at Caspa, I mean, I think that it's at the bottom side of this more macro structure that it's in here. It's also approaching a huge zone of resistance. I mean, look at resistance, 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 support, and support. So there's a ton of liquidity happening right here that I think could serve as support here. I see no reason as to why Caspa can't try to stabilize between here and say 3.5 cents and then use this support zone to try to maybe even find a breakout to the upside if the market permits. Remember, I'm not saying that this is individually going to happen. It will rely on the market actually giving it the opportunity. But I do think that Caspa using this general support to try to push upwards is very possible. And I think that it is something that is within the world of reason to happen, right? And so because of that, I actually do think Caspa's in a decent DCA zone right now. Just be willing to take a loss. Like unrealized losses of another like 30% are very possible on pullbacks from here. So just understand there's a zone of like 40% loss before that bounce could happen. And you just need to be like mentally locked in and prepared for that. Okay. Cool. This is interesting. Ryan Carpenter. I wonder if that's OG Ryan Carpenter. All the YouTube crypto traders bang about buying low. Now everything is dropped in their price, telling you not to buy. I don't understand that logic. I just tell people to buy. Whenever it drops, I say, hey, I'm buying. And if you want to buy, buy. Right. But I agree with you. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's jump over to ICP. And guys, if you are kind of liking this rapid fire technical analysis section, if you are thinking this is somewhat valuable and you want me to do things like this a little bit more often, especially on Sundays, Saturdays to get you ready for the week, put a 7 in the chat. Put number 7 in the chat. Let me know if you guys are finding this valuable. So ICP is a very simple game to play right now. What we can see is that ICP came all the way back down to the golden Fibonacci zone here, ranging between 443 and 6118. I told you guys, hey, if it falls through the golden zone, do expect it to come back down to the range low that created the Fibonacci golden zone. That's exactly what happened. ICP's price lost support at 443, came all the way back down to macro support at 282. This is a very, very big zone of support. If ICP fails to hold the zone of support, I would genuinely start reconsidering owning it. Like, I'm just going to be 1,000,000% honest with you. At that point, I would genuinely start reconsidering owning it, because if it's actually falling below its regional, like its bear market lows, that's just not good. Like that just should not be happening. I'm going to be 1,000,000% honest. And so it's like, if it doesn't hold support here around like $2.82, I just would start to reconsider things for ICP holders. And I know you may not like that. I'm not here to tell you what you like. I'm here to tell you what I genuinely feel. That would not be a good sign. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's take kind of a bit of a pauser on that. What's Bitcoin at now? 109 point what? So it's kind of retraced back onto 109.4, but not a super big retracement whatsoever. And here's a quick look. If you guys are interested, here's my buy sell bubble sheet. These are all of the purchases that I've done recently, and they're in the green. All the sales I've done recently are in the red. You can see that the red bubbles are much bigger than the green bubbles because I sell much bigger portions in bear markets, and I buy much bigger portions during bull markets. Okay. So with that word, anyway, so with that said, yeah, let's kind of just take a quick breather. I'm going to check out the chat. I just yapped for 30 minutes straight, so I need to kind of let the vocal cords relax. As I told you guys at the beginning of the stream, right before the stream started, over in the crypto school, I did a 30-minute workshop where I went over my entire market analysis system, where every day I get a good understanding of, the context of the market, diagnoses of the market, expectations, and the move. I call it the CDEM system, and this is what I use every single day. It helps me run my companies. It helps me do my trades, in which I don't trade a ton anymore, but it helps me with my investments and much more. I can be a cornball and say it's my $1 million market analysis system, but I'm not a cornball, so I'm not going to. But yeah, so guys, if you are interested in getting access to these sorts of workshops and stuff, the link to the school is down below. I left it there for you. And interestingly enough, not only did I do a 30-minute workshop, we also went in. I had a whole bunch of the coaches jump in, people that you guys will probably recognize. If it load, that would be great. But we had some guys like Kate O'Neill, Coach Lewis, Investing Frankly, Crypto Bullseye, and many more. They also joined it. We did a Q&A section. It was like an hour and a half where it was only for the school members. So feel free to check it out. The school is the place where I post all of my buys, my sells. We do lessons, workshops. There's coaching, there's courses, there's classes. It's so much. It's worth the money, I believe. And so I would like you guys to check it out. The link's down below. If you are in the school, let them know your thoughts. You can, if you are in the school and you think it's worth the money, put a 1. If you don't think it's worth the money, put a 2. I think that's a fair game to play. People can kind of do about it as they like. So let's jump into chat. What's going on here? Black Apple says, can someone tell me how these green zones and golden zones are brought up on the chart? Is it the Fibonacci tool? Yeah, let me show you. Let me give you a quick little educational lesson. So when you are on your chart, so the golden zone, I'm not going to get super deep in how to do it, because I've already done that before. But if you're trying to draw in your golden zone, for example, like the price it went down, it went up, it's coming back down, and you want to draw in the golden zone, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the fib retracement tool right here. You're going to click it. You're going to click the very bottom at the low. You're going to drag it up to the top, and you're going to set your settings to look like this. There you go. And this. And then you're going to get this golden zone. Okay, so that's how you draw the golden zone. I'll do more of a breakdown on how to draw that if in the future. I will say in the crypto playbook, which is also linked down below, it's a free playbook that I've given you guys. I do go over how to draw these things, and I actually go into it in depth. Whenever it comes to the green zone, say, for example, if a crypto is creating a descending channel like this, or just something along these lines, and it's creating a parallel channel like so, what you can do is you can go in and you see how whenever you draw this descending parallel channel, there's this dotted line. This is the 50% mark. So this is halfway between the top and the bottom. And so what I like to do is I'll go in and I'll draw another descending parallel channel that follows that line and then bring it to the very bottom of the channel. And now it creates another 50% line between the 50% and the 0. So this is the 25% line. And my buy zone is 25% and below of the descending channel. So the last thing I'll do is I'll draw one more of these descending parallel channels here, and I'll make this one green. And now you have your green line. Now you have your green zone. And then where I take profit at is in the red zone. So I'll do the same thing here. I'll bring it up to the top, make this gray, align this bad boy better. There we go. And then I'll do the same thing, dotted line, bring it up, make it red. And boom. Now you have your buy zones and your sell zones. Simple as that. Hopefully that was helpful. Alrighty. Well, look, the people can speak for themselves. Again, I don't pay anyone to say anything. People said that they think the school is worth the money. So there you go. How can I contact you, Tyler? Would love to collaborate with you. Just watch my trades, as words have no value, only facts. Email me. Sure. You're going to hate me for asking, but do you think AI 16s is dead? I think the whole AI narrative right now is definitely down. And because of that, many of the AI narrative cryptos are not going to perform well. Haven't seen a Crow video from you in a while. Yeah, I've not just been focused on much outside the top 10, but I am still a fan of Crow. I do like Ondo for sure. The well that shorted minutes before the crashes opened, another short on Bitcoin. He also opened a long before the market fell. Interestingly enough, he was wrong recently. So that might have just been pure luck. No way that Tyler's school can be beaten. Good luck to anyone that tries. Appreciate it there, Steffi. Can you discuss the Caspa chart a bit more? Seems like 5 cents has been a pretty good support level, with last quarter generally being a good quarter and smart contracts on the horizon. Is it a good buy? I do in general believe that Caspa is in a decent dollar cost average opportunity right now, purely based off of the technicals. Again, my primary driving factor is that it is towards the bottom side of this more macro structure it's been in, and it has a ton of liquidity below it. Ton of liquidity between here and 3.2 cents. All of its indicators are extremely overextended. General sentiment is fearful, while they are adding more value to the ecosystem itself. Is a great combination for a pump. The question is, does the market allow it? If the market doesn't allow it, Caspa will dump. If it does allow it, I think it'll have actually a pretty nice pump. Mostly green here. Also, don't know what people are freaking out about. Just don't invest in stupid altcoins outside the top 10. Do you follow chart of the mix of all your own transactions sometimes, or only the market? I don't know what you mean by that one, Pete. Shout out to you, Hunter. Clearly worth the money. My G. What's going on with BAS? I'm not sure. What's up, Tyler? Do you think we built some strong support at 109K for Bitcoin? Hard to tell. I don't really think that 109K is the support zone. Like, it's a very important support zone. I would almost be more inclined to say Bitcoin coming back down to say $107.2 thousand and trying to build some support there would be much more interesting to me. We're the crypto school. We might be beaten but never broken. We have the most battle scotches facts. Tyler, did you see that Michael Saylor tweeted volatility as a gift? Again, oh shit. Oh, GG. If someone wants to start investing in crypto, 60% Bitcoin, 40% ETH is good for a long-term hold. Better suggestion. I think so. I think maybe going 60% Bitcoin, 30% ETH, and 10% across the other top 10 cryptos would also be pretty solid. Altcoin starts October 28th, 29th. Hint, hint. Appreciate you, Tyler. Yeah, shout out to you. Buying opportunities, love it. Any analysis on MNT? No, I don't really know anything about MNT. My sell target is around 135,000 to 140,000. So Juan Jose Ramirez Melo, are you planning on selling at all prior to those numbers, or are you going to just wait until we hit those numbers to take any profit? Shout out to you. Government shutdown affecting ETF approval dates. I don't think ETFs are going to have as much of an impact as people think in the short term. Tyler, do you remember me from your past live streams? Love your videos. I believe so. I believe so. I don't think I don't think you're the guy I called a 12-year-old. I called someone a 12-year-old, but no, I think so. Abdullah is the one who hates my music, I believe. Will you continue that wallet that you used for trading, the 10K one? Yep. I'm actually, Abdullah, just don't say anything about it. We're just going to keep that to myself. We are getting like 4 months away from that wallet being 1 year old, and I'm going to do a 1 year later video. So I'm just waiting at this point. Because if I was a beginner, I just wouldn't be doing anything. Leverage is good, plan now or not. Low leverage or nothing. No big leverage. If you can look at all your active transactions in one chart to date compared to direct market, I have all my Bitcoin transactions. All of the purchases that I've done for Bitcoin are here. And I've made this public. I made this public since December of last year. I told you guys going forward, anytime I make a big transaction with my Bitcoin bag, I'll show you. I think the results speak for themselves. Contrarian trading is the best way to make money in crypto if you're not just buying and holding long term. What is your target for AVAX? It depends on what you mean by target. Tell me what you mean by target, and I'll give you a better answer. What do you think of Bitcoin to gold? I think that ratio is going to flip better towards Bitcoin pretty soon. Ready to make money on Halloween memes. Are you that digital guy with the burger money? I don't think so. What's up, Mom? My mother's in here. Say hello, everyone. Be nice. What coin do you like outside of the top 10 for spot? Sweet. I'm only here for the unhinged shit. I'm probably not going to have time to get unhinged today. I actually do have a meeting in 20 minutes, so I do have to jump off and go for that meeting in about 20 minutes or so. But I wanted to give you guys just an update on what to expect from the market going forward. Hey, Tyler, more than KFC again. Well, zero hate doesn't match you well because I absolutely hate you. Okay, Nick. Yeah. Nick, you are the one I called a 12-year-old. My bad, G. Do you believe in the extended cycle theory? I do believe that market cycles will be extended in crypto. Yes, absolutely. And I think if you don't believe in it, you're being a little bit naive. And that is a very hard take. I understand that, but yeah. No, I don't have one for everything. Sorry. Do you favor Lark Davis outlook? I see both of you share great insight. Lark Davis is fantastic. I've met him a couple times. Met him in Dubai earlier this year. Great guy, great insight, smart guy. Smartest guy I've ever met. Tyler, what are your thoughts on Caspa's price action? Just rewind a little bit. I went over Caspa. Also, Tyler, let's say Bitcoin hits 150K. Would you wait? I would sell a lot of Bitcoin on the way to 150K. I would sell a lot of Bitcoin at 150K. I would sell a lot of Bitcoin past 150K. This year, Chainlink. Let's see. How bullish does Neon EVM look? I'll give it a look whenever I get a chance. What's up, Toasted Bread? Oh, you said hi, Mom. My BG. Like by the end of the cycle target for AVAX. Depends on what you mean by target cycle or end of cycle. But I'm gonna stop being an asshole and I'll give you an honest opinion. Let me see. I hate that. Oh. Hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I genuinely don't know. Because it's like the AVAX is not as special as it used to be anymore. You know what I mean? Like I think AVAX being one of those coins that breaks back up towards all-time highs but doesn't go much further than that, this cycle makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm just going to call a retouch of the all-time high. Appreciate you making videos for us. Was that a Mac 11 you were shooting? Yeah. I have a couple. I'll post them on Instagram later. Just jumping in, recap what we can expect this week. Just rewind, homie. 75. What was it? What was my number again? You guys probably know. My invalidation for the bull market was $74,600. Any advice you would give a margin swing trader like me at 17 about trading? Trade slow, trade very, very slow, trade as slow as you can imagine. Don't trade fast, trade not fast. Now just take your time, bro. Like trading in crypto is one of those things that people think will make them rich fast. It won't. Like most people, it won't. 99% of people, it won't. Don't try to be the 1%. You're wasting your time. You have a much higher perceived likelihood of success if you just take your time and actually build systems and grow from them. So do not rush. Do not risk more than a couple percentage of your portfolio on each trade that you take. Take your time. It's all about taking your time. And use isolated margin. Don't use cross margin. It's stupid. Is a weekly hidden bullish divergence still in play? Yes. Pepe is a good coin, bro. Yeah, Pepe is good. It's not great. It's good. I think Q4 is going to be more bullish than people think. Is this the Abdullah that hates my intro music? Bro, KFC Supercharger rap is amazing. I'm not eating shit from KFC. That sounds like something you put on a car. 5K, 5X leverage is okay. Yeah, it's okay. Don't be scared when it dips. Are you? Yeah, join the school. That's also a great thing. Is a weekly. Yep, I answered that. Wasn't able to join this goon session earlier. Welcome in. Oh, this is the Abdullah that hates my intro music that I hate. I sent you an email, Tyler. Hopefully we can work something out together. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. Trading at best, I will say you started off this stream a little bit aggressive. I will say that is a bit of a turnoff. Not gonna lie. Like you can kind of differentiate with people and you can have differences with people without like kind of venturing towards the route of insults. I might help you go a long way. Thanks for the advice, Tyler. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, G. Wasn't that Abdullah? Yeah, 2 Abdullahs. Got it. I should not 1000x leverage. Yeah, of course you should. Why wouldn't you? Grow up. From 1 to twin, how bullish are you that the next 2 months to explode into a solid alt season? 3, 4. I'm not very confident in the next 2 months we're going to have a massive altcoin season. I never have been. Does it hurt being a top G? It hurts more than you can imagine. Lambo tomorrow, by the way. Hopefully the interest rate cut makes crypto fly. I think we're going to have a pump. I do think over there, like this year, I think crypto's going to pump. I don't think we're going to have like a massive ass alt season like people think. You heard me loud and clear. Okay, I got you. That makes sense then. Yeah, I'll respond to your email then. It's the technicals that make the fundamentals. Do you agree with me? It looks like many fell on Crypto Galaxy's trap on Caspa. I've been warning on his channel since last year. I forgot about that guy. That guy made an exposed video about me saying that I do sponsorships on my YouTube channel. Like he's fucking uncovering something. Like, dude, this is not a tomb under the Pyramid of Giza. Like everyone on earth knows that crypto YouTubers, we do sponsorships. I say it in the video, and there's also a big ass banner that pops up. That's like, this is a paid promotion. So it's like, grow up. But no, he made this whole video. He was like, Tyler Hill and his agency, they do sponsors on YouTube and they're like the scum of the earth. And then he did a sponsor like 2 weeks later and it was awesome. Anyway. The final week of October, we get Powell Fed rates, then the end of government shutdown and Trump tackling the China pumpage we're about to get. Maybe, unless everyone expects all that to happen, then it won't. Like that could be what we're preparing for now. What kind of net worth does it start? After what kind of net worth does it start taking off? My net worth started really, really, really get like moving fast after like 500,000. It was like after that, it was like boom, boom, boom. Like 0 to 100K took a very long time. A very long time, quote unquote. That took the longest amount of time. That took a while. And then 100K to like 250 took like 80% of that time, and then 250 to 500 was somewhat fast, and then 500 to a million was fast, like really, like within a few months, and then a million to the next, to the next, to the next. The shit just takes off. So like 100 to get you there moving, 500 gets you moving fast. A dollar for Cardano is realistic. Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know. I don't know about the end of the year, just because I don't know what this year is going to look like. 54 million short open from the same person who opened 180 million short a few weeks ago. That same guy longed the market before it dumped the other day. Do you have courses on profit taking? I have a tendency to hold coins too long. I know I'm not alone. I have not so much a course on profit taking, but over in the school, there's a section. And so in the school, I have a course on creating a good strategy here in crypto. And in that course, I talk a lot about how you can create a system that works for you to know when you should and shouldn't take profits and when you should sell and stuff. Sweet still good with fundamentals. Can go high as $10. Same for XRP. What is Sweet's price at right now? 260. I think it can go to 10 at some point. I think it's reasonable. The market just has to be favorable. 100% Abdullah. Better than online casino streamers. I hope that's you're talking to me. I appreciate that. But I could use a massive alt season. Yeah, we all could, but it's just, you know, my price prediction for XRP is between a dollar and 5,000. I think that's a little bit too specific. I think you should go $1 to 10,000. Can you confirm or deny that Kenny can do a backflip? That fucking dude could probably do a standing double backflip, like genuinely. I know, Abdullah. I know. You just can't do it, dude. My network exploded after the first billion. Why didn't it explode after the first trillion? Why wouldn't you explode after your first quad billion? Grow up. Oh, guys, we're getting a little unhinged already. When did you hit the first 100? I hit my first 100K net worth in 2021. So I would have been 19. Yeah, at 19. So I say it took a while. That's bullshit. But if we look at the amount of time it took me to hit the next ones, it was way faster than that. I did kind of pause though for a little bit between like 250 and 5. Do you agree with Tom Lee and Arthur Hayes that ETH would reach 12K in the upcoming weeks? No, I don't think within the next few weeks. What's your skincare routine? I'm not going to lie. I genuinely just don't do anything. I just have really good genetics. I'm not even going to pretend. For skin specifically. Hi, Tyler. Do you think the cycle will end in greed, extreme greed? I think it's going to end in more green than people expect, but not as much as people will think. So I think the top of this market will look pretty green, but not extremely green. Yeah, I think there's going to be a season in which altcoins perform well. I'm not subscribing to this conspiracy theory that we're going to have a 2021 sort of euphoric moment for altcoins. If we do, great. I just don't see what would cause that. Will you sell it all if Bitcoin hits 150? No, I'll never sell all of my Bitcoin. It would take something crazy for me to do all that. But I will sell a lot. Yeah, sure. Will you sell everything when you think the crypto bull run is over? No, I always keep some in for the bear market because I don't know when the top's actually in. What's up, Put On Mascara? Happy to have you in. Welcome in. Any tips on being a smooth interviewer? You seem to be good at it. Just do it. Literally just do it. You just have to practice and watch a ton of interviews and just copy their cadence, copy their style, copy their flow, copy the sort of questions they ask. You just have to practice. It's the only way to get good at it. Do you know who Aquila trades are? No, I don't. Polkadot's to 50? That sounds high. I don't remember what it's at right now, though. Oh, I don't know what I just did, bro. Hold on. I just like messed up my chart. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see. Polkadot to 50 sounds kind of crazy. It is currently at $3. No, Polkadot's not going to $50 a cycle. I don't think. In my own personal opinion, I'm not a financial advisor. The way I see crypto is that maybe it will destroy the world, but at least I'll be richer than people who don't have crypto. I don't particularly think it'll destroy the world. How do you trade in the bear market? I trade ranges. I do that. I don't short. I'm not a shorter. I'm just not a short trader. I'm not someone who bets on this market to go down because it's easier for it to go up. I rarely short, but I will short occasionally. But I more often than not trade ranges and just macro accumulate. I just literally buy as much as you could possibly imagine at lower and lower support levels. Hey, that's banging. I'm 24 now, to be fair. I am getting a little bit older. Black don't crack. I hope that's true. I'm going to go bald one day, though. Do you believe that all bull markets end in euphoria? No. But I think this one will. What's your ratio of spot versus leverage trading? I would literally say like 95% to 5% in favor of spot trading. Hope you make the live videos more predictable. I really like them, entertainment and knowledge. I know, guys. Listen, my problem is that I hate having a fixed schedule. Genuinely, like I'm going to be 100% honest. I hate having a fixed schedule. I hate having to do something at a certain time. That's why I hate meetings. I hate all that shit. Anything that has a certain time that I have to do it, I hate it. So that's why I'd rather just jump on live stream randomly. I'm sorry. I think portfolio risk versus income. I think the biggest thing in the world, if you want to be a good investor, is just make more money. Like, and I know that sounds so stupid, and I hope you guys don't take this as like the wrong way, but realistically, if you're only investing like $5 a week, it's better for you to invest more time into figuring out how to just make more money. And then once you make a good, sizable, good amount of cash a month, then you can start worrying about investing. But truth be told, people try to get rich off of investing where truthfully, the odds of that happening are very low. Whereas within reason, like it should just be a steroid to your financial life. Like crypto should be a steroid to your finances. It should not be the thing that makes you rich, and I just don't think it's reasonable. Like most people won't become rich off disinvesting. What was the cause for your financial explosion from 500K or 100K to 500K and beyond? It was just a massive combination of things. My income went up a ton. My investments went up a ton. When this bull market has been the like craziest for me financially, just because I was buying a shit ton. Like what people don't understand is there's a video that I posted when Solana's price fell to like $15. I made a video titled "I'm buying 5,000 Solana right now," like, and I did it in the video. So it's like, or was it 3,000? I don't remember how much Solana bought, but I was buying Bitcoin at 30, 30,000, 20,000, 19,000. I didn't really buy it much lower than that. I was buying a lot of Solana sub 20. I was buying ETH around $1,000. I was buying a lot of that stuff. And so when the market recovered, my channel popped off. So my revenue went very good. My company Fluence, which is a creator relations agency, that makes over, that makes millions of dollars a year at this point because we're one of the biggest creator relations agencies in crypto. So my distributions on that are crazy. The school that we have has a lot of members, so that's been good. So it's just been a big combination of it. The money I make on a monthly basis is not from like much trading or investing because I don't sell that much. But my net worth growth has mostly come from just this bull market and the fact that I was like, I took $100,000 and was ready for the bear market. And, it was more than that. It was like a couple $100,000 going into the bear market and then just threw it in. I threw it into my business. I threw it into my YouTube channel. I threw it into my investments. And obviously, I mean, the rest is history, really. Past 17 years has been an anomaly. Things need to normalize or we'll be walking around with $10 trillion notes in our pockets to buy bread. No, literally, bro. Can you explain more about a bear market? What's it like for spot? Seems like it's fucking terrible. It actually sucks. I'm just going to be honest with you. It sucks. Nothing about it is fun. It's not enjoyable. The only good thing about it is the fact that you're buying it so cheap that you're like, I cannot believe I'm buying this cheap right now. It's going to go up one day, but it's absolutely miserable. It's so boring. No one's excited. No one's having fun. It's like the funeral of crypto just started and we're just sitting in the back in a pew just sad. It sucks. But we get them all the time. So you just get used to it. I've been through 2 now. They suck. I hate them. But what can you do? Do you agree that trading in spot is more profitable than leverage trading for most people on a longer time frame? Yes. 1,000,000% yes. 1,000 times over. Income is the biggest wealth building tool, aka 100%. Exactly. The hardest part is not buying that new PS4 game and using the money to invest. I think you can do a mixture of both. Schedules are an obligation and obligations are the opposite of freedom. I literally just absolutely despise having to do something at a certain time. It's one of my biggest vices, guy. Is that a word? It's not the word. I don't think vice is the word I'm looking for. Like detriments. I think everyone around me doesn't like it. Okay, you want to know one of my biggest flaws? I don't like being told to do anything ever. I really struggle with this. So it's like if somebody says like, come to my house, I'm not going. Like, no, bro. Like, don't tell me what to do. I don't know where it comes from. It's one of my biggest flaws for sure. So, even I have to live stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. I just won't do it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to. I want to do what I want to do. It's the reason I dropped out of college. I quit my job. I literally, bro, I was in Spanish class one time. And my professor was a great guy. Don't get me wrong. I loved Spanish. I took Spanish for 5 years. But I asked to go to the bathroom in the middle of a presentation about some bullshit, and I was cutting weight for a fight. And if anyone knows what that means, it means I was drinking a lot of water. And he literally told me no. And I was just so fucking astounded at the idea that he just told me I couldn't go pee as a grown ass man. I was like 20 years old at this point. I was like, all right, I ain't coming back. And I sure as shit just never went back. I was like, nope, not happening. It is what it is. College can kiss my ass. What percentage chance do you see us dipping down to $90,000 for Bitcoin? 30%. I can live vicariously for a while if it means making money. Thanks. Tyler, do a meet and greet during the bear market. I've thought about doing meet and greets at like conferences and stuff like that. Like I've run into, when we were in London, I ran into a couple of you guys on trains and stuff. It was really weird. Like I ran into 2 of you on trains. One guy walked on the train and he looked at me. He was like, what the hell? And he turned his phone. It was me. I was like, what the fuck? So maybe we'll do some stuff like that one day. God's going trading. Good, Nick. That's great. That's great revenue. Very good. Hey, glad I managed to get in here. Shaw, what's up, G? What will we do at a school during the bear market? Get bored? No, we're going to make a lot of money during the bear market in the school. I think you're just wrong. I like your content, man, but damn, it seems like all the videos are clickbait at this point. Let me go. I mean, I'm happy to address this. Also follow my second channel if you want. Massive signal prints for Bitcoin. A massive signal printed. A signal that has only printed 7 times in the last 12 months, and every single time it's printed within 1 month, crypto, especially Bitcoin, is pumped over 20%. That's massive. The crypto crash continues. The crypto crash did continue. The crypto chat was still set. I said, guys, be careful. Market still might fall. The market fell. I asked ChatGPT if the crypto crash was over. It's what I did. This is exactly why crypto just fell again. It was getting juicy. Crypto investors don't learn. The trap is not over. I was wrong about this crash. Very important signals. Like, I feel like you're just maybe projecting your frustrations with other creators on me, but like, I can't understand how this is clickbait if I'm telling you exactly what's happening in the market. If someone chooses the obligation, it's still freedom, in my opinion, as long as it's a choice. Freedom of choice with no commitment is chaos. That's very. Shot honestly drops some of the most banger shit on earth and then just leaves. It's also illegal to not let people go to the bathroom. Just saying. Yeah, it's kind of like like not in like a bad way. I love Spanish culture, but in Spanish culture, a lot of like the professors and some of the people who are in kind of authoritative positions, they are definitely like, all of my Spanish professors had like crazy ass rules. It was just what it was. FD White, what's up, G? Everybody go check out FD White's channel, by the way, if you haven't. He has a great channel. He talks about the macro a lot. It's really good. What percentage of your portfolio is holding and what's for speculating? 5 to 10% is speculating. The rest is holding. If Tyler does clickbait, then I'm Superman. I definitely try to be. Yeah, I'm dramatic. Don't get me wrong. If you told me I'm being a dramatic piece of shit, I'd be like, yeah, that's valid. Like, dump, trap, alert, crash. Sure. Yeah, 100%. I have a game. Like, you have to play the game. Like, this is a business at the end of the day. I have products. I have the school that I'm trying to obviously get customers for, you guys, right? I think the school is fantastic. I want you to sign up. If you sign up, you'll get better in crypto. I'll make money. Everyone's happy, right? So obviously this is a business and I treat it like a business and I have to play the game as a business, but I feel like I'm very straightforward with what I think. And I tell you exactly what the title says. I'll never lie. So it's like clickbait means you're baiting someone into clicking something and not providing them your promise. I do deliver everything that I say in my titles. I only say this because, okay. What is your birthday? I don't know. I don't want to say that one. Also happy that pilots can make 10K a month and also want to hustle with trading. Yeah. No, you're good. That's great. Tyler is 1,000% real. Appreciate it, G. I feel like so many crypto investors are bullshitters and you are the few that aren't. I try not to be. Someone has screamed outside my window. Are you bullish or bearish? I'm bullish. Thumbnails are legit. Appreciate it. Okay, maybe there won't be crazy euphoria, but there's still a solid 10x for alts. No, not a 10x for most of them, but there will be a 10x for some of them. I'll do that. Yeah, I'd be really good at that. Shout out to you. Tyler's Mexican. Fuck it, I guess so. One of the few who doesn't click me. Have you ever smoked cigars? I think I got really sauced in college once and smoked a cigar, but I don't remember doing it. So, okay, fair. I'm more referring to titles, covers on the videos. Hear you, bro. Still appreciate the constant stuff. How I learned off from you. Shout out to you, Carlos. You see how we can have such great discourse? I love people like you. You're awesome. I'm definitely dramatic. But I will get fucking ballistic. That is true. Well, shout out to you, Nick. Join the school. I'm just joking. Are you on record saying there will be no altcoin season? I am on the record saying that the altcoin season will not look like 2021 where everything pumps. Absolutely. Take it to the fucking bank. What I expect from Tao G? I don't know much about Tao. I'm going to be honest. Yes, clickbait got a bad rep because people lied. It can be annoying psychologically, but if the premise is delivered, it's legit. Facts. Shot, you're great. Shot, I don't know who you are, but you should like email me or something. We should chat. I feel like you'd be a great coach or something. Anyone that likes churches keeps it real. Appreciate it, G. Appreciate it. You're the only crypto YouTuber I sub to. The others unfollowed. Your data and calls are always on point. I appreciate it. I try my best. I thank you guys. If we close this weekly candle, what's up, Brillo? Welcome in. If we close this weekly candle above the previous lows from late August, we still have a chance. Agreed. I don't know what that means. Off topic, but favorite watch still Omega. Oh, shit. I'm gonna be honest. I think my favorite watch brand right now is Ebel. Just because what you get for the price you pay is so good. So Ebel is a company that used to specialize in feminine watches and female watches or woman watches. I know the word female is like not allowed anymore, which is fucking nuts. But they used to create watches for women, and then they come to realize that hey, like men kind of like some girly shit too. And so they started creating these watches that were kind of targeted more towards like a unisex audience, but caught a lot of traction within male, like the male demographic, especially over the last like 10 years or so. And they're really awesome. They have a whole bunch of watches. They're super lightweight. So I'm actually wearing a Bell right now. What you can see is that the actual like the band is super light, and you can see the general like wave. The wave of the band itself is super light, so it never pinches my skin. It never gets stuck or anything like that. This is actually a collector's. It's 1 in 300. The company, they know I like this a lot, and so whenever they produced one, they called me. I bought it. This thing's appreciated in value like 60% since the price that I bought it in from. But this is a skeleton bell. It just recently released not too long ago. I think this is number 58. You might not be able to see it great, but this is number 58 of 300. So it's like 58 of 300. It's literally one of my favorite watches. It's one of my most cherished items. And so I've really been loving Ebel. And so because of that, I do like these ones. Like I bought this watch for like $3,000 or something like that. I don't really remember. But like Omegas, for example, you're not really getting a good one for sub 8,000 or something. So it's best in my opinion. It's best in my opinion. I like these. So anywho. There we go. You did up the quality of your content. I know. I've tried, man. I've tried the studio. Let me know if y'all like the studio. This is my favorite studio I've ever had. I know some of you guys have been in here for a few years. Let me know how y'all feel about the studio. I'm a big fan of it. Sometimes I like to just kind of like turn this off and just chill like this. I feel like this looks pretty sweet. And then other days I like to do this. Also, my company Fluence is blue, so I put the blue up. It's always like branding and stuff. Yeah, agreed. Not liking the people telling you what to do is just not like people who abuse their power. That's why you hate lizard people, literally. Also, is the Fibonacci like an indicator? Please explain about its importance. So, Nick, what I want you to do is I want you to go to my description. Let me show you what to do. Do this. Nick, do this. Go to my last video. Go to the description. What the hell? Okay. Go to my last video. Go to the description. You see, check out the crypto playbook. Go here. It's right here. And click it. Yes, this is a funnel. Yes, it is free value that I am going to use to try to get you to sign up to the school. Warning over. And then from here, you can just read through this if you want to, but just go down here. Give me your name, phone, and email. When you do this, I'm going to send you the playbook. And in the playbook, it's literally like a massive, I'll show you what it looks like. It is a massive library of content where I talk about the Fibonacci's and all that stuff. 1 second. But again, yes, I do put things all in this playbook to try to get you to sign up to the school 100%. But yeah, so what you can see is in the playbook, there are things. And if you go down to chapters, the Fibonacci retracement bands, and go ahead and click this, there's a whole video going over it. And I gave you some free notes. Okay, so feel free to go check that out if you want. The crypto playbook is one of my favorite things I've ever done, just because I feel like it's packed with value. This camera means there's a video to go along with it. So there's just a ton of free. It's just a big ass free course on crypto, basically. Okay. What's up, Disley? Welcome in. That's some sweet. You need to make it pink. I can make it pink. The ambiance is amazing. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Okay, cool. Too dark. That's interesting. If Bitcoin falls to 100K, would you consider it a good opportunity for buying Sol, XRP, and ADA? I bought these alts and they were higher, and maybe I could achieve a lower average. Depends on what they're doing. I'd be very careful with Bitcoin at 100K though, because 90K will be a magnet around there. So just be careful, but sure. What's the name again? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, great. Yeah, appreciate it. Facts. Never signed up for BTCC because I don't know how it works. Don't sign up for BTCC if you don't know how it works. If you don't even know what it is, leave it alone. Just leave that shit alone. If you do know what BTCC is, though, go to the link down below. Go check out BTCC. When you sign up, you're gonna get up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards if you sign up with my link specifically down below. And you are going to get lower trading fees than most other trading exchanges. Do remember, a lot of people got their asses absolutely handed to them leverage trading last week. So if you are trading, make sure you know what you're doing. But you can check out the link down below if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, leave it alone. Do not click the link. Tyler just showed the prices of the school ridiculous. It's $100 a month. Simple as that. It's $100 a month. Every single person who's in it feels like it's worth the money, like or like 95%, I would assume. Based on the gathering that we've gotten, there's hundreds of members in it who are paying hundreds of bucks a month for a reason. I mean, you can see it yourself. Like, I know I've been shilling it a lot just because we did a huge thing today, but like, look, Even in the trading portion, like all these people are making their money back literally just from trades. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah. I for one enjoy Tyler's. And I've been watching for a very long time. Thanks. Shout out to you, Shane. I appreciate it, G. Is that an Oura ring? Yep. I track everything because I love Oura rings. Smash the like button. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Y'all hit the like button. I forget about that sometimes. The Lizard People's next plan, I genuinely think at some point they're going to smash those shorts to the upside. I drive a C8 2021 Corvette with a couple little changes made to it. My bad, bro. I couldn't help myself. My carrot wants. Right. Okay. Well, that's the playbook is for knowing what to do with BTC. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Can you just short the whole bear market and make a shitload of money if everything goes almost to zero? Yeah, but you have to catch the bear market. You have to catch it when it starts. You have to be confident to hold it. But yeah, you can make money. It's like longing during a bull market. You could have just longed the whole bull market, but why didn't you? You know, I think they'll do okay. I think they'll do like a couple X's. Or do a 7-day intro for school or something. I think people have no clue of the value. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, got you, got you, got you. Yeah, because Binance is actually a piece of shit, but we have to just accept it. Does your step count work good on the ring? Yeah. Yeah, it's decent. It's not fantastic. It's decent for sure. All righty. Well, look, guys, I have to go jump in a meeting. I literally forgot about it, and then it was 20 minutes ago, so I have to go do this meeting. It's a pretty big meeting. We have an incubation client for Fluence that I'm going to be meeting with because if you guys don't know, one of the things we do at Fluence is we take normal people like yourselves, and if any of you want to be like a content creator one day, what we'll do is we will basically help you accomplish that goal. We have guys in our program who literally make a lot of like we're talking like $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, or whatever. So I have a meeting with someone. We're opening up another group of 5 guys. I think it's already full, which is crazy because we literally just opened it. But yeah, we're going to do that. So I got to go meet with this person and kind of see if they're a good fit for the program or not. So I'm going to do that. If you guys are ever interested in that sort of thing, like business side of things, if you do go to the link down below, you can also go find my personal YouTube channel. It's called Tyler Hill Unlocked. On this channel, I talk about all that sort of stuff, like what I'm doing with my businesses, the money, all that stuff. So if you want more of a personal touch, go check that out. Also, go follow me on Instagram. You can get a more personal touch as well. I post like stuff about what's happening in the market and just like personal things. So I was also, by the way, don't make fun of me, but I was Perry. Okay, YouTube's not going to like that. I was Perry the Platypus last night for Halloween. Yes, it was awesome. No, you can't laugh at me. And yes, I hope you all have a great day. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you guys later. We got to head out. See you later. Bye-bye. Oh, just Lee, if you didn't get a response, message my email, tylerhillhga@gmail.com. I'm going to reach out to you from my personal email. Okay. So send it to tylerhillhga@gmail.com, and I'm going to send you a personal email. So be on the lookout for it. Okay. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.